With that, we are back. Hello there, friend. Welcome back to Max's 2016 Finish It Challenge. For those of you who don't know, at the start of this year I told myself, Max, you don't finish anywhere near enough things. So I've been spending this entire year seeing how many things I can finish. I'm talking books, games, anime, all over the place. And this week, I'm reviewing an all-new thing. But before I go anywhere, I'm going to tell you, last week, I reviewed my mega marathon of the Harry Potter movies, the complete film collection, annotation on the screen right now. It was a really fun review. I spent most of it raging about the third movie, which I did not enjoy. Not at all. But that's behind us, it's in the past, let's move forward. This week I have an all-new review for you of a game that I finished relatively recently. What is that game? That game is called Professor Layton and the Curious Village. Is this curious village worth a visit? Let's find out! So, let's take it from the top. What is this game about? Professor Layton and the Curious Village is a game for the Nintendo DS released originally in 2007. It is, at its core, a puzzle game with over 130 different puzzles for you to solve, as well as having a rather interesting and tight story and narrative style. In this game, you play as the titular Professor Layton, alongside his assistant, as they are invited to a curious village. Ha! They are here after being invited by one of the people in the village, and their goal throughout the game is to solve the mystery of the golden apple. So, at its core, this game is a game about puzzles, seeing an interesting story, interacting with odd characters, and trying to solve a series of mysteries. Did I enjoy my time with this game? Let's dive right in. Let's talk about the good things, the stuff I certainly did enjoy. So right off the bat, why was I playing Professor Layton and the Curious Village? Well, first off, they were recommended to me. People talked about these games. They came to me all like, Max, these games are really good. Check them out. And after I finished 999, which is also in the playlist, by the way, if you want to go check it out, I really enjoy that game, I had the itch for more puzzles. I wanted to play more puzzles, and these were not the puzzles I ended up wanting to get, but they certainly scratched that puzzle itch. I finished every single puzzle in this game. Every single puzzle in this game. I 100%ed this game, something I don't ever do. I have problems finishing things, so the idea of me 100%ing something, that alone should tell you how much I enjoyed this game. Like, if you want just puzzles, because, spoilers, puzzles were not the only things I enjoyed in this game, but if you just want puzzles, and by that I mean logic puzzles, not exactly point and click as in 999, but more logic-based puzzles of being given a problem, analyzing the problem, breaking it down, and coming up with answers, then you will get more than enough. There's plenty of content here, over 130 different puzzles. If you like puzzles, if you want to tease that brain of yours, this game will just set you on the right path. That being said, what else did I like? I was immediately surprised by the presentation and the story of this game. If you follow me on Twitter, and I recommend you do, at Mr. Kirin, I was live tweeting me playing this game and crushing puzzles and being crushed by puzzles, which is a really funny experience when you're enjoying this seemingly children's puzzle game, and which is, I don't think so. I don't think this game is marketed to the right audience, or was marketed to the right audience, because some of those puzzles are tough as nails, and this seemingly innocent game with a really European feel. I know this game is Japanese, but it feels really European in the style of the animation, the dialogue, and also the design of the characters, which again, points. It commits to that European aesthetic really, really well. There's a murder in this game! There are a lot of really dark undertones, and the story gets more and more ridiculous the deeper you go in it. I'm just gonna say it right now, and I'm not gonna spoil things, but I'm gonna tell you this. When I play a game like this, when I play a game with a really, really hard theme or some sort of mechanic, like for instance in this town, in the town of mystery, everyone loves puzzles and everyone has a puzzle for you. And me playing this game, I thought, okay, I can imagine I'm never gonna get an explanation as to why everyone in this town freaking loves puzzles. There is a legitimate narrative reason as to why everyone in this town loves puzzles. A reason that absolutely makes sense for who they are, for what's going on, and for the plot in general. And for that alone, for completing the loop cycle between we give you gameplay, we justify the gameplay, and we explain it within a character-based narrative reason. I particularly enjoyed this game, just for that alone. For the fact that it went out of its way to give you a legitimate justification that syncs with the rest of the story. So, you've heard what I like. It's time to talk about the things I did not particularly enjoy in this game, of which there are very few. This game is really tight, and it has like cinematics with dialogue at the beginning and at the end, which is crazy considering how this is a DS game. But even so, there was one thing that I particularly like. If I hadn't been okay with it, I would have totally like knocked points off of this game for this particular thing. And it is that 99% of the puzzles in this game are logic puzzles, and it basically gave me flashbacks to being back in like college and just doing tests, because you look at the question, you chop out the things of the question that are not relevant to what you're being asked, and you have to like flip your mind several times over to find the correct solution. If you are a teenager right now and you're going through like the standardized testing, you will hate this game, because this is nothing but, well, 99% but questions. All of the other puzzles that revolve around you interacting with the touch screen, or moving slider puzzles, or moving sheep and wolves from one raft to the next, those will be fine. For most of those, you have to tilt your head to one side to understand the solution. Physically tilt your head to one side, that's a tip right there. The rest of them are logic puzzles, and if you don't like logic puzzles, you will not like this game. At first, I did not like them, because I was expecting point and click after playing 999, but I tagged along and I finished everything in this game. I did every puzzle, I completed every side story, and part of the reason why I did that is because I wanted to see this full story through, because you don't 99% a game. I mean, if you've made it this far, you finish it, and by the time I was finished with this game, I can officially admit that my itch for puzzle games had been formally scratched. And so you've heard what I liked, you've heard what I didn't like. It's time now to talk about, as always, the award. Every episode I like to give an award to whatever I'm reviewing as a way to summarize how I feel about it, or to showcase one of its particular and most interesting elements. This time around, I've thought about it. There are no two ways about it. Professor Layton and the Curious Village, I give you the one and only Darkest Plot Twist for a Children's Puzzle Game Award! Like, I'm not even kidding you. I don't want to give you spoilers, and I'm gonna make one joke, and trust me, this happens within the first hour, but this game has, like, murder? This game has really dark, almost existential dark twists, and also the devil shows up at one point. This is really, like, I wasn't expecting this game to have a legitimate story. I wasn't expecting this game to have, like, legitimately fun characters. Aside from, you know, the professor and the main cast, I wasn't expecting all of these, like, villagers to have their personalities and for me to grow attached to them. It was overall a really, really fun experience. I actually completely recommend it if you're feeling like puzzle games and logic puzzle games, because no matter how fun the story may be, no matter how great those 2 or 3 plot twists may be along the way, if you don't want to do puzzles, you're not gonna enjoy this game. Simple as that. I don't want to say this is a niche game, but I do feel that in the Venn diagram of people who likes fun stories and like puzzle games, this game is like made for you. So if the idea of a puzzle game with a really, really interesting aesthetic and fun story interests you, I fully recommend Professor Layton and the Curious Village. As always, if you would like to check out this game, you can find it in the description down below, as well as a link to the mystery item that I'm going to be reviewing next week. Shh, it's a secret to everybody. For the time being though, I want to thank you for watching. What are your thoughts in this game? Have you actually played it before? Have you played the Professor Layton games? Would you recommend the next one? I'm seeing whether or not I may actually pick up the next game in the series, so if you have, let me know in the comments down below. And once again, I would like to thank you for watching. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Man, that escalation, like, I'm not even kidding you, and I know it seems silly if you have never played this game, or this particular game in particular, if you haven't played this game, and you just look at the box art and you ask yourself, there's no way this has a dark plot twist. It has like 3. And the first strikes really quickly. Boom! There's a murder in this child's puzzle game. Yeah. And the devil shows up really quickly after that. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. I wasn't expecting it to have a story. Like, let me show you behind the curtain, as though there's even a curtain here. I have blinds, as a matter of fact, on my window. But anyhow, like, I was expecting this to just be, like, there's gonna be a super rough, super see-through justification for the puzzles. There's gonna be some sort of silly thing where it's like, yeah, all the villagers just love puzzles. They just love puzzles for no reason. They have nothing else to do in their lives. And then when you get to that point in the story, near the end, where they explain why they all love puzzles, I'm like, I mean, I saw it coming, because I write stories for a living. So I was like, wait a minute. Why did you show me that thing that is kind of shaped like that thing? Why would you show me that thing? Is there a reason? There's always a reason. So, I really enjoyed this game. If not for the puzzles, some of which, like, completely just wrecked my mind. And there were others where I was like, I look at the puzzle and I'm like, yeah, this is the answer. And I just lean back and I just JoJo pose. And I'm just like, muda. But weeaboo references out of the way, I completely enjoyed this game. I came in for the puzzles, but I stayed for the story.